This is Rowan, and I figure I've got nothing to lose at this point. Might as well make this video to go alongside the comment that is probably, it's certainly at this point going to drag a whole lot of mindless people who will just hang on to the words of any pathological narcissist on YouTube who is in this season. Because, you know, last night I put together a video that I cobbled together from a lot of little clips that I took during the day. And what the hell is this? Oh, that's my little, I don't know, it's a little astrological sigil that I don't know, it's one of many things that I've been drawing for myself for years and years, like since junior high or high school. I've been drawing this one, and oftentimes something that I've been drawing is it was consciously inspired by that poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay, where it's a bottle, and there's usually a pair of, I guess I'd say pixies, as it's that kind of, at least as far as form goes, you know, that kind of, you know, like fairy, and there's usually a pair of them. Usually both, I'd say male type for all intents and purposes, but at the top of the bottle is a candle that is T-shaped, and it's burning at, you know, both ends of the top of the T. I don't know, that's just something I've been drawing since, like, I want to say at least 8th grade. Same with one of this, and I have a Leo version as well, of that I've been drawing. But that's me getting sidetracked. So this is basically a med vlog, even though I'm used to doing those live. But if you're here from somebody else's video, if you're not, then you've been around long enough that, or maybe you didn't find me through her stupid video and the comment I left there, but maybe you just found me through, like, recommendations and shit. I don't care at this point, because I need to get this refilled, okay. But what was I saying? I was saying that, okay, I cobbled together this video last night, and because I had to take my cats out with me for the day, and let's see, of all of the chores that I intended to do with them, the only one that we actually accomplished, me and the cats being we, was going to check my mail at the post office, and then after that, we just hung out on Main Street, and then I went and opened up the windows and the door to my balcony, and after I got some Subway on the way home, and apparently I'd eaten so little over the last couple of days just from stress that I just pretty much gorged on both sandwiches, which has been a while, but that's getting beside the point. And then, like, for the next hour and a half after I opened up the windows, the cats and I just hung out on the stoop of the building. And at some point, and I was really torn about leaving this part in, was, at some point in the video, like I said, I was really torn about leaving that part in. It's like, you can tell that I am, like, near tears just because the cats were so stressed out. And the reason I was torn about leaving that in is because, you know, I still get a lot of really hateful comments from people who found me from the comment that I left in another video of that beef twats. I've decided well, my phone actually decided that's her new cute nickname from me. So, I don't know why, but, you know, it's a good one, right? So what was I saying? Right, cats. I'm like, you know, there's probably going to be people saying that I'm just leaving this in here for the attention, but at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, well, the pros for leaving it in is that that is the kind of emotion that most people understand is, I haven't taken this for years. This is, oh, God. That's going in a baggie and going to the sheriff's station. So I'm thinking, okay, the pros is, this is an emotion that's very hard to fake. So I am, so anybody who understands that kind of thing will, you know, see it for what it is, and will we'll see that, you know, I was indeed very, very stressed out about, the fact that my cats were stressed out over the whole situation, which was no fault of mine, or much less theirs, but sometimes it just happens, and that's an as needed, and so, so I left it in, and then I wake up this morning, or morning for me, it was like 11 a.m., and, I had apparently slept, even though it was on the floor, because I just did not have the energy to put the mattress back on my bed after getting in last night. Take around 3 cats who are very, very bothered by this situation, including one who weighs about 18 pounds, and granted, he's the one with the wheelie carrier, so, but yeah, I woke up this morning, and I see that our little precious beef twat has uploaded this video that is supposed to address so many misconceptions and concerns that people have gathered over the last, what now, 6 weeks? Many of which have stemmed from a video that yours truly created and got all of 2 seconds of internet fame over. So then what happens is I did what? I watched the video, and a friend of mine was very certain that this would prompt, or maybe he was relaying the words of somebody else who was very certain that this was going to prompt some other video response of mine, and I really wanted that to not be true. I wanted to have something recognizable of mine that had nothing to do with our precious little beef twat. But that, yeah, I control how many videos I make and over what topics, and that's all well and good, but here's the thing, is she spent a good, not even 2 minutes, barely a minute and a half, if I recall correctly. I've just kind of been stewing about this for the last couple of hours since I watched it, and not even that, I imagine. But yeah, I've just been stewing about this for the last hour and change, and I know how late it is, because I really wanted to put off watching that goddamn video. So, this is not my dosage. And so, for a good, maybe minute and a half, she tried to justify the fact that she has left her animals, and I'm assuming 2 cats, because those are the only ones that she mentioned. She said nothing about her parakeets. She said nothing about her parakeets. Keep this in mind. She said nothing about her parakeets, and birds bond with people. Birds genuinely bond with people. I was a little hard to notice that at first, you know, I was a little reluctant to see that myself, but then I saw a friend of mine who had an African gray parrot who had to go to a home of a friend because of the fact that her divorce had left her couch surfing for a time, so she had to rehome her birds. That she did not know how long she would be out of this situation. And I don't even think that she has the most stable living conditions now, even though about a year ago it seemed generally stable, but not ideal to bring birds back into. And this is an African gray parrot that I have met, and it genuinely loves her. This is an African gray that picks locks. Like, this is an African gray that had to get his own room because he will pick locks, even combination locks. He will figure out how the tumblers on those work, and will pick those, and then he'll get out of his cage and mess with the cats. So he's got his own room, which has a lock on it, on the opposite side of the door, so that he can't get himself out to mess with the cats. So yeah, she said nothing about her budgies. We all noticed that. But she's trying to justify saying, oh no, don't worry, they've all got places to run around. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's at a boarding kennel. You know, they get minimum time outside of their cage. They get this set amount of time outside their cage during the day, where in theory they can run around, but they're probably just stressed and probably very starved for any kind of attention that they're getting from, you know, the veterinarian who, you know, runs the boarding. Probably not even the vet, the vet themselves, probably just some vet tech, maybe a rotating schedule of vet techs and a number of veterinarians who work at the clinic or whatever. It's like you're trying to justify to your viewership that it's okay to leave your cats at a boarding kennel. And note, this video was filmed a couple of, in her words, mere hours before she went to New Jersey for Dark Side of the Con, which was not even a week ago. So, this video debuted this morning that she filmed not even a week ago. And she's trying to justify to people that it's perfectly okay that she left her two cats at a boarding kennel. And note that this was not even a week ago. It is April of 2019. She left those cats basically abandoned at a boarding kennel in Germany. She's in New Zealand at a boarding kennel in Germany since late November of 2018. November to December, December to January, January to February, February to March. We're looking at going on 4.5 months now. Like, maximum. We're looking at over 4 months now. We're going on 4.5. They're gonna be there. Who knows how much longer. These are cats that, you know, she took out of New Zealand to Germany with her, and then left in Germany. Maybe she'll go and get them during German festival season. That's what she promises people anyway. But she's left them at a boarding kennel for going on 4 months. It's going to be a minimum of 5 if she does indeed pick them up during festival season. Minimum of 5 months she's leaving those cats alone. Think about that. How dare she? How dare she leave these animals who have, at this point, resolved to the fact that they've been abandoned? Like, emotionally, that is what that is what those animals are thinking right now. They have resolved that they have been abandoned by her for, you know, the last 4 months. That is just awful. And the fact that people will sit there in her comment section and defend her and say that, oh, she's just so sweet and nice. You're just such a sweet, genuine person. No. No, she's not. She can't even, you know, she's not even a good enough actress to feign the minimum basic outward displays of empathy for these animals that she has abandoned for the last 4 months. And again, no mention of her parakeets. No mention of her budgies. Who cares? They're birds, right? No, birds bond with you. Birds bond with you. I mean, yeah, Budgie's not going to have the vocal abilities of an African gray parrot, or any parrot, quite frankly. Especially not an African gray or a macaw. Oh, macaws are the real talkers. But no, birds will bond with you. Birds will bond with you. If you think they don't, you're only fooling yourself, or rather, you're not very well educated at best. At best, you're not very well educated on birds, but yeah, she's abandoned her birds. She's basically abandoned her cats up there. And no, you cannot sit there and tell me that this is a sweet, genuine, kind, adoring person who has any amount of empathy for others. She's horrible for that. She left those cats. And she sits there and tries to justify it to strangers on the internet, basically. She sits there trying to justify it, and there are apparently plenty of people who can barely think for themselves, if at all. Just all too willing to just validate her own, at this point, sociopathy. I'm looking for it right there. At this point, they're just validating her own sociopathies and the clear narcissism she has, you know, for herself. Because she doesn't care a whit for those cats. If she had, she would have done whatever in her power to get them to her home in New Zealand. That's what she would have done. So, the fact that she's been unable to do this, unable to, you know, at the very least, call the boarding kennel she's left them at, to, you know, give, you know, permissions to a local friend in Leipzig, I believe, was the last German city she was living in. So, the fact that she doesn't have any friends there that she could relinquish, you know, the cats to from the boarding kennel and have them ship these cats to her in New Zealand, you know, just over an airplane, that says something, doesn't it? She doesn't seem to have too many friends in Germany, does she? Kind of makes me wonder why the third highest hit count I get on YouTube via my demographics is from Germany. It's like, huh, that is curious, isn't it? I've been wondering that for a while, but at this point, the fact that she clearly has no friends in Germany anymore, if she had any to begin with, it just says to me that it's like, wow, you can't even wrangle in a friend to come and, you know, to come to your aid and help you bring these cats you claim to love and care about so much back home with you. It's like, I brought around my cats yesterday because I had no other options. You know, a friend of mine just said, you know, when I was telling her about this whole little spiel she's trying to feed people on a she who's feeding being our little beef twat in New Zealand. The fact that she's trying to feed this to people while, you know, my friend, you know, says, you know, meanwhile, you care for your cats like they're your children, and I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, you know, if I could not afford to hire a babysitter, I definitely have no living family that I trust enough to, you know, take in my cats for the day. So if I had no way to afford a babysitter for the day, yeah, I'd bring my children around with me. And, you know, because that is what a good parent does. You've got no other options. Yeah, you've got no other choice, really, but to bring them with you. And I did not expect I'd be able to go basically all around the whole thing. I mean, okay, that's a little bit more spaced out than the ones on either side, but the main reason I'm noticing it is because I'm looking right at it. So yeah, I'm just absolutely disgusted that not only is she trying to justify this to well over 500,000 subscribers, but that there are significant ones leaving comments, significant in number anyway, leaving comments who seem, or at least are willing to play at being completely fooled by this, which I just find repugnant. I just find this absolutely repugnant that anybody can sit there and watch her justify abandoning cats for a third of a year. Do the maths. That's what 4 months is. That's a third of a year. They're going to be there for at least another month or two. At least. In a boarding kennel. But, you know, yeah, she's the one who's so sweet and so genuine. She can't even feign empathy for these animals she's abandoned. No talk of her parakeets. No talk of her birds. No talk of her birds. But she'll sit there and justify for not even a minute and a half. Barely a minute and a half at best. That, you know, don't worry, you're all taken care of. They get places to run around, yeah, for a designated time of the day while their kennel's being cleaned out. I don't know who you think you're fooling, hun, but it's not anybody who actually cares about their pets. Because the only pets at this point that she cares about are the little dipshits who will white knight for her given the drop of a hat. You know, she doesn't care about her animals. She just cares about the pets she can, you know, covertly manipulate into fighting her battles for her on the internet. That's all she cares about at this point. And I think this video of hers, which just reeks of damage control, now that people are calling her poor lifestyle choices into question, now that people are seeing through the scams she's pulled on people, you know, now that it's no longer being talked about in hushed tones over semi-private Discord servers, now that it's all coming out in the open, this just all reeks of damage control, and I would not be surprised to see her subscribers count start dropping like flies, because, you know, she couldn't even feign a bare minimum of empathy for these creatures she's abandoned half a globe away. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I mean, there are other things I said in comment that I could go a bit more into right now, but I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. I think all you need to do to see through her is to just see how nonchalantly, she talks about abandoning her pets, because that's what she did. That is basically what she did. She's paying a lot of money to abandon them, sure, that, you know, no argument there, but, yeah, these cats are devastated. These cats of hers are devastated. They have been counting the days and have long since resigned to the notion that she has abandoned them. Okay? Like, think about... There's a sitcom I enjoy called Mom. It's about a couple of women, mother and daughter, who are recovering drug and alcohol abusers. Fair enough. And the mother in this case, Bonnie, she was abandoned by her own mother at the age of 4 because her own mother decided that having a boyfriend and husband who didn't want kids was more important than her own daughter's sense of security. That's what those cats are feeling like right now. They're feeling like, you know, Bonnie describing to her own mother when that woman decided to try and rekindle contact 50-some years later because she's dying and trying to make good on God. You know, those cats are feeling like a 4-year-old child who, at that point, you know, knew their mother, had a relationship with their mother, sang songs and played games with their mother, and suddenly that child is tossed in the foster care system because why not? Because it's more exciting to go having gangs of fun than to be a parent. And you know, why she even brought those cats up from New Zealand is anybody's guess. At this point, might as well just assume that she thought that they were the uber cute gothic accessory that all the good goths need these days. But you know, now it's like everybody's dropping out of veganism on YouTube, so you know, caring about animals is a little bit less of a hot topic, and you know, something that everybody's doing. So yeah, sure, why not, you know, just pretend, yeah, why not just pay lip service to the notion that you care about your animals, rather than, you know, walk the talk, right? Because that's what she's doing. And if this damage control video that she uploaded this morning does not cement to the minds and hearts of enough people that she is just playing games with you, she is manipulating you, she is lying to you for a paycheck. She doesn't care about those cats. If she did, especially when, you know, she says she went to New Zealand with an open return ticket, you know, why didn't she bring them with her if she wasn't sure when she was coming back? She doesn't care about those animals, or any animals, or anybody besides herself. She really doesn't. And this should illuminate it to everybody now. Meanwhile, this one can't get enough of me, especially when I'm making videos. He knows what I'm doing. And, as annoying as he is sometimes, I would never take off for 4 months or even 1 month without bringing this one along. Shit, I've traveled on a Greyhound bus with a betta fish, betta splendens, Siamese fighter fish, they're often sometimes called still. I've traveled on a Greyhound bus with a fish, because I didn't want to leave my fish behind. And I didn't have a cat at the time, so Well, take care of yourselves. Bats and kisses, I guess. I'm gonna go be livid for a bit.